I literally just finished filming a video. I immediately set my camera back up, press record, because I have the most exciting video ever happening right now, and I cannot wait any longer. Let me set the scene for you. I just came back from LA. And when I was in LA, I went to Barnes & Noble. The most perfect time to do this because every new release came out on like the same day. I opened those doors, table after table, which is new release. My hands were full in a good 3 seconds. So today I'm going to be starting to read all of the new releases that have been coming out in November. Here we are. I shouldn't have used this book as my tripod, but I unfortunately can't move it right now because it's big enough and it's a hardcover, so it's holding everything. Okay, so I can't. First book that I'm starting with is Iron Flame. I'm starting with Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros, which is the second book in the Fourth Wing series. I don't know, what's that series? What's the series called? Empyrean? The Empyrean series. There you go. I was so excited for this book. I'd been looking for it. It put out early in some places. I couldn't find it, so I opened Barnes & Noble's doors and there she was, and I grabbed it instantly. I'm not gonna sit here and like really talk about what the book is about because I feel like everybody knows, because this book is such a hot topic right now and everybody read Fourth Wing, so people kind of know going into this what's going on. I will say, if you haven't read Fourth Wing, skip through this section of the video because there's going to be big spoilers that I do talk about that happen in Fourth Wing just as the series progresses, and I don't want to spoil that book for anybody because I loved Fourth Wing. Take that with a grain of salt. If you have read it, even if you're like halfway through Fourth Wing, I would still say don't do it yet. Sitting here listening to a good old Fourth Wing Iron Flame playlist. All I have to say is Aiden's a little softy. Like, from Fourth Wing to now, I've already used like all of my cutesy tabs because he is just such a little softy. Like, in Fourth Wing, he obviously is trying to hate Violet, and now because they're kind of together, kind of not like officially, but sort of, and it's really complicated. But for context, I find this out very early on, so nothing crazy. Basically, they end up having to spend a minimum of 7 days apart from each other, but obviously because they're bonded and their dragons are bonded, them being Xaden and Violet, duh, the bonding didn't already give that away, but because they're bonded together, they have to be together once every 7 days. Despite Xaden having to be away from Basgiath, he still needs to be around Violet because of the bonding, and the dragons will possibly die if they aren't together. He comes back. I'm trying to find a good spot to read this, but he's about to leave again after coming back and kind of like regaining strength. He turns to the door and looks back at me, holding my gaze. Third ward, south wing, second door on the right. The wards will let you in. Let me guess, warded for sound and to let in you, me, and anyone else you tug through. No, Violet. He lifts both swords overhead and slips them into the sheaths on the pack behind him with practice, expertise, and a hint of a smirk. Just you and me. He's gone before I can even think of a reply. With trembling hands, I unfold the paper and smile. Xaden Rierson wrote me a letter. Back with my updates about Iron Flame. Look at how gorgeous this book is, first of all. Oh, guys, it was so gorgeous. My camera fell over. Isn't that ridiculous? I cannot wait to put these up together. Are you kidding? So I've already talked about this. I don't know if I really talked about it as much as I just kind of like showed clips of it. As we know, in Fourth Wing, Andarna is like this super rare kind of baby dragon that is just like Violet, supposed to be really, really weak. And the whole idea was that somebody like Violet could never bond to a dragon because she's so weak, and Andarna could never bear a rider because she's too weak. Keep that in mind. What I'm really liking about Iron Flame, despite Andarna not really being there too much, it's mostly around the dragons like really aren't even a heavy plot point in here, which I understand why, but I think because in the first book the dragons were so crucial to the story that I was really obsessed with like the interactions between the riders and the dragons, that now when there's not as much dragon talk in here, it's like I get it, but I wish there was more. Terran is here as much as he can be because like I said, the dragon talk just like isn't really as prominent as in Fourth Wing, but Andarna's kind of not there as much. She is going through like her teenage years basically, which I think is so funny. I'm looking at my notes over here because there's a lot going on. At the end of Fourth Wing, Andarna saves Violet, okay? And she ends up developing her actual scale colors, which she used to have gold scales, and at the end of Fourth Wing, she kind of develops like different scales. It's really interesting because she's kind of, like I said, in her teenage years, so she's like kind of bratty and has an attitude, which I think is so funny because I mentioned this when I was talking about Fourth Wing after I'd read that over the summer, and I just love how the dragon talk in here isn't like cheesy or even redundant. I think it's so funny and so crucial. Like, they're genuine characters and not just somebody that's there, and I really like that they actually have like a huge point in the story and can actually speak with the writers. They are a prominent point when they are there and they are communicating with their writers. It is entertaining. I will say that this feels a lot more information based than action based, and I understand again why. I feel like this book you're much more likely to get confused. If you're going into this book and not really understanding how Fourth Wing happened, you need like a 10-hour video to really like get you geared up for this, because this is a lot of information, a lot more politics, a lot more characters. It was a little bit confusing. I'm making my way through. I'm really enjoying it still. I think I'm liking Fourth Wing better so far, but there's a lot of drama in here. There's a lot going on. I am really enjoying it so far, I will say that. It looks like I'm telling spooky stories. I just don't have a light in my room right now, so you need to bear with me. I'm here to say that I finished Iron Flame. I really liked this. At this point, my November wrap-up is already out, so I'm gonna put like my full thoughts in there. I really liked it, tabbed it up a bunch. I gave it 4 stars. I'm still kind of thinking about why though. I did really like it, I just didn't like it as much as I liked Fourth Wing, and I think this book was just a lot of processing information and less action. I still enjoyed it. Fourth Wing was just constant like go go go, constant bites and like things like that, where this was more me having to really sit and like process information, which is not my strongest suit. I'm still excited for the rest of the series. This ends on a crazy cliffhanger, so I'm really interested in seeing how that goes. But I will say this again, I'm gonna spoil something in Fourth Wing, pretty huge point of Fourth Wing, so I'm gonna spoil that for you so that I can like mention my one piece of criticism here. Fourth Wing ends with Violet finding out that her brother Brennan is alive, and in this book like you don't really know anything about how his death was like faked or like how he was able to be in hiding. Like, you don't know anything about it at all. You don't know anything about his life. He's just suddenly there, and I'm assuming that in future books in the series she obviously will like address this and talk about it and give him a backstory, but I would have liked it to have been in this book, at least in the beginning. Like, it starts out with Violet and Xaden and Brennan all like kind of sitting together eating. Why couldn't we have had that there? I feel like that would have been like a very natural spot to put it, but I'm just the reader, what do I know? Next, I'm reading Elle Hazelwood's new YA release. I think this is her first YA book, but it's Check and Mate. It's about Mallory and Nolan, who are basically chess rivals slash chess champions. I don't really know much about chess, so you gotta bear with me here as well. It's really short, just like a quick, easy read. I have already started tabbing it up. I'm liking it so far. This is what I'm reading right now. I'm really liking it. It's cute, it's easy. I'm not a huge Elle Hazelwood fan. I have a few of her books, and by a few I mean I literally have one that I've read and one that I haven't read yet besides this. I mean, I am enjoying this, but we'll see where it takes me because I don't have too many thoughts. It's slow moving, which is weird because I feel like YA books are usually really fast paced, and I'm always like, how are they already in love? This is kind of moving quite slow. Not sure if I like that or not. Normally I think I would dislike it, but because YA books usually go literally so quick, I'm liking it better for this. I straight up just binge read this book. Really cute. I liked it. I don't know if I want to give this 4 stars or like 3.75. I'm leaning towards 3.75. It was cute. It was easy. Didn't really stand out to me too much. Like, I enjoyed reading it, but am I gonna think about these characters for the rest of my life? No, I'm not. It's YA, so I feel like that's another reason why I'm kind of like, not sure if I like it or not. Well, I do like it. I did like it. It's just not gonna stick with me for the rest of my life is what I mean. Next, I cannot tell you how excited I am about this one. The Grammy fact. Are you kidding me? I am a huge fan of the off-campus Briar U series. I preferred the off-campus series. I only liked like 2 of the Briar U books, but I love Garrett and Hannah, and this is about their child Gigi. Gigi's a hockey player, and she meets Luke Ryder, who is now at Briar because of a merger between colleges. Ryder wants to get on Garrett's good side. So that's where Gigi comes in. And I'm just so excited to see all the cameos. I've already kind of started, but I've only read like the prologue and kind of like how things start. Garrett hasn't shown up yet, and I feel like I'm gonna freak out when he does. You know what? I needed Garrett right now, and this is what I'm getting, and I'm so excited. Sitting on my Dunkin' cup. So I finished The Graham Effect. What did I rate it? I think I gave it 4 stars. Let me check. Point is, I really enjoyed it. I don't know if I enjoyed it so much because of the storyline. I did really enjoy the storyline, but I think part of me just like loved seeing the cameos from all the other books that I had read that all connect to this one. I am really impressed, honestly. I thought it was gonna be kind of one of those books that felt like it was there just to like keep the hype around those characters, but I felt like it was actually really well written. I really enjoyed just the plot and like seeing the characters' development. Next, I'm currently reading Love Redesigned by Lauren Asher. Look how gorgeous this book is. Are you kidding me? So this is another one that I'd gotten. I think I got this one in LA. I've been so excited to read this. I'm about halfway through right now. This is about childhood friends turned like not really enemies, but just like loss of connection, I guess. They end up working together on a house to like flip a house. Julian, the MMC, is very much in love with Dahlia, but she is getting over a divorce. So she's kind of going through it, and he's like, do I try to kind of like slide in and tell her how I feel? Or is she still kind of grieving the loss of a relationship? Is she even gonna hear me out, or is she gonna kind of like swear off men? Like, what do I do? And I'm really liking the story more than I thought I would. I like Lauren Asher's books. I wasn't thinking I wasn't gonna like it. It's just quite thick. I just didn't know if I was gonna love it, and I am liking it a lot. It's really cute, really sweet. I like the characters a lot. I think they're funny, and like I'm liking how long it is because I'm like, thank God there's more. Like, I'm really enjoying this. I'm cleaning, don't look at my bed, it's a mess, but it's a few hours later, and I finished Love Redesigned. I gave this 4 stars. I was really torn between a 4 and a 5, only because I really liked the characters. I felt like I could really relate to them, but I also was like, it's not really like giving me a feeling like I can like really feel like this is a 5-star, because for me, there's not a checklist, it's really just a feeling, and I'm like, okay, does this leave me with something? And I felt like it didn't, so I didn't want to give it a 5-star only because I just enjoyed it, because otherwise every book I read, well, not every book, but a lot of the books I read would be 5 stars, and I just have to be a little bit picky here. But I did really enjoy this. I would highly recommend it. I'm not going to talk too much about it because I feel like a lot of people have already. It was good. I really liked it. The chapters were short, so I felt like I was getting through it really quick. Yeah, I don't have much else to say, but you think I would because I gave this 4 stars and I said it was possibly almost a 5. Final book that I'm going to be reading for this video is Caught Up by Liz Tomforde. I read the first books in the Windy City series, which is Mile High and The Right Move. I liked both of them a lot, so I'm quite excited for this one. It's about Kai and Miller, and Kai is a single dad. He plays baseball. Miller's dad is like the team manager or something like that. Kai needs a babysitter because he's a single dad, like I said, so he needs a babysitter. Team manager's daughter, Miller, ends up babysitting for Kai. I haven't started yet. That's just what I know of. And then that's the last book for this video. So far I feel really good. Like, I'm liking all of these books. That's good because I feel like that hasn't happened to me in a while. So I'm in a good state mentally right now, and I really would like for it to stay this way. Can I just say, I'm enjoying this book, not loving it. I'm just not the biggest fan of Miller as I thought I was gonna be. I don't know, this sounds kind of crazy, but she has like these, I say crazy because I feel like this is something that I would encourage, because it's not boundaries in a relationship, it's like literal rules where she's like, you're not allowed to do this, don't make me want to do this. And it's just like, how about we just communicate these things in a nicer way, perhaps? Because he is so obviously into her, and whether or not she feels the same way back, like, take it easy on him, okay? I don't love it as much as the other books in the series. I am still enjoying it. I just don't love it. Okay, I have finished all of the books. At the start of this video, I was so excited because I was like, oh, I have so many new releases to read, and now I'm done. That kind of sucks. With Caught Up, here are my thoughts. I liked it, didn't love it. This was my least favorite of the 3 so far. I think my favorite just has to go to Ryan and Indy. I just was obsessed with her, and even all of her cameos in Caught Up. I was more excited to see her in Caught Up than Miller. But I did like it. I don't know, I think I'm not as big of a single dad trope kind of girl as I thought I would be. Maybe I just haven't read one that's really like done something for me, but I don't know. I just didn't love it. In a movie, I'm always like, oh, like I like seeing like the single dad in a movie rather than reading it, which is crazy because I don't like movies. I don't know if this makes any sense. I gave this book 3 stars. I did enjoy it. I mean, it's a baseball plot, baseball romance, single dad romance. Everything's there that I should really, really love. I don't know if I was just kind of burnt out by the end of the week from reading, or if well, here's the thing. I didn't love their dynamic. Crazy, I know. I loved Kai. He was a sweetheart. He was adorable. I loved him. What I didn't like was Miller going back and forth every 2 seconds saying, I can't get attached. I need to leave. Oh, but I really like you. Oh, but I have to go. Like, I could not deal with that. Pick one or the other. Are you staying or are you going? But that's everything that I read, and generally really enjoyed these books, which is crazy because there's normally one that I'm like, that I had to DNF, didn't love. But I did like all these books. What was my favorite? What books did I read? I read Iron Flame, I read Check and Mate, The Graham Effect, Love Redesigned, and Caught Up. I think my favorites are probably Love Redesigned, and I really enjoyed The Graham Effect a lot. Like a lot. I would recommend all of these books. They were all great, and I feel like I read a variety of books, like hockey romance, baseball romance, interior design, childhood frenemies romance, fantasy, romantasy actually, and then a chess romance. Kind of got everything there. Thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys whenever the next time I see you is, because I don't know yet or what I'm filming or what's coming out first. So I'll see you when I see you.